Have you ever heard the phrase, the manager as coach model? That's what we're talking about here today. Because you might be wondering, well, what's the difference between a manager and a coach? Or you might be saying, how do I go through and make my managers more into coaches? And more importantly, what kind of pitfalls are we probably doing right now? We're going to talk about that, so let's get to it. Here's what you're going to learn in this video is why so much of your training isn't taking place. You're going to learn why your employees are looking at your manager as a compliance officer instead of a coach and why that's really bad. And more importantly, you're also going to learn that you can do an awful lot more to increase your KPIs if you just focus your managers to managing the employees instead of the tasks. Now let's get to it. You know, knowing doesn't change behavior. Coaching does. Otherwise, we'd all be playing in the World Series. We started as a little boy or girl, we learned how to play the game, and you should be pro athlete, right? Oh, why doesn't that work? Because one, most of us don't have the physical bodies to do that. But even if we did, we may understand the game, but we don't know how to play it at a high level. The same is true for your retail store. Maybe you have a training program. Unfortunately, your training program is probably like, check the dressing rooms to make sure nobody is stealing merchandise. Make sure that you double check whatever you're doing at the cash register. Make sure that you sweep out the, right. That's not training. I don't know what that is. That's compliance. Oh, that's a good point. There's a difference between training and compliance. We train to comply, right? Sexual harassment, that's compliance. Like, don't do this ever, that's compliance, right? But training is more loosey-goosey, isn't it? It's like, we value every guest. Oh, everybody understand that? Oh, yes, I understand that. Well, what does value every guest look like? Value every guest could be, I give them my employee discount. I value them. It could be, I hate myself, so I'm going to just treat you like crap too. Everybody has a definition. But here's the thing, when we are training, when managers in particular are in charge of training, we have to think about it like, let's go back to that game analogy, right? So let's just say football, okay? So we've got a big board up here that's got the play. And I'm telling the players, you go and you throw the ball here, and then you do this. And all the listener is doing, his ears are activating, and eyes are activating. But you know what? The brain is going, blah, blah, blah. It's not even to think about this. You're not saying, and Bob, what do you think of that? Like, whoa! Because then the brain has to pay attention. Training oftentimes is in the ears and in the eyes. Now, one of the things we've done in our SalesRx online sales training program is they're interactive videos, which means if I was doing one of these right now, I would ask you a question. Now, what did I just say? And two buttons would show up. And if you didn't answer, I'm just going to be watching you. I can't do this on YouTube. If I could, you would do it right now with me. And the video just stops, the learning stops, because I need to force the brain to go, take action. Take action. Did you hear that? And get a right or a wrong answer. That's the problem. And, you know, training, that once and done idea, and you might have heard this in some of my other videos. By the way, if I forget, subscribe to me right here. There's plenty of them up there. And I have another offer that's going to be afterwards, so you could check that out. And at the end, I'll tell you about something else if your stores have over $1 million worth of business, what you can do with me personally. Yeah, exactly. But let's get back to training. Once you think about training, what did you have for dinner last night? Oh, I know exactly what I had. I had the salmon with the miso sauce. Oh, it's so good. Great. What did you have 4 weeks ago on a Thursday? I got bupkis. You know why? Because the brain didn't have to learn it. And what happens when you have to recall something is you force the brain, think of your mind as a file folder, and you have to pull it up and go, oh, last Thursday, 3 weeks ago, what did I have? And it looks at it and goes, oh yeah, you had the hamburger. Yeah, it was dry, it was terrible, you had it, whatever. Great. But unless you tell the brain, go look for this information, there's no synapse. Do you follow me? Why I'm going here? Because so much training is eyes and ears. Don't do this, do that. Go help that customer. Go do this. Brain isn't thinking at all. And the problem with that is that your managers are thinking for your associates. The number one way you convert more lookers to buyers is through human connection. They've got to know the formula to make that happen. So you're wondering, well, how does this all fit into coaching, Bob? Well, it fits into coaching because you know what a great manager does? After every sale, they go up to the employee and go, so what's one thing you could have done better? Bob, I just had a $15,000 sale. Yeah, what's one thing you could have done better? And now you're forcing the brain to go back and go, I don't know, what do we do? What do we do? Replay. Yeah, I guess I could have gotten this other widget. Great, exactly. See, we think that we only want to coach when something goes bad. It can always be coaching. We want to go through and make that brain think, oh, what else could I have done better? Now, if it was somebody that really nothing went well and they walked out with anything, great, tell me the story. What changed in their life that they walked in to our store today? I don't know. Why not? I didn't ask. You know, one of my favorite stories I'll tell you later with Harry Rosen in Toronto, one of my favorite men's stores in Canada. And when I went in there, this young guy was really affable and he was really fun and we had a great time. It was great sales. I got a lot of merchandise. I felt like $1 million. It was wonderful. And so I tell him at the end, yeah, I'm the retail doc. You did a great job. And he goes, what could I have done better? And I said, dude, you had no idea who I was until the end. And now I'm walking out the door. And I could have taught you a lot more you could have done better. But you didn't think that was part of your job. So the one learning I'm gifting you right now, Randy, is next time you need to know who I am. Because I know you wrote, I know that you and your girlfriend are looking forward to moving to Quebec. I know a lot of things that you shared about you, but you weren't interested in me. And in spite of that, I still bought things from you. So he was like, oh, I was really schooled. I go, well, I guess that's what it is. But that's what a coach does. Coach does, you could be better. That's our goal, is to say, you could be better at doing this. And the other reason why we've got to think of a coach instead of a compliance officer, right? Like some nagging aunt, you didn't do this, look both ways, right? Is that young people are coming in, especially since COVID, without the skills to be able to talk to another human being. If they could, they would just as soon text you as you walked in the door. They say, I could do a great job with that. Like, yeah, no one wants that weird dystopian world, dude. But until you teach them how to talk to people, they're gonna hold back. And you see it when you walk through a mall, people avert their eyes these days. Young people are looking at their phones. You have to almost tell them, look me in the eyes and say good morning. Oh, that feels so weird. I know it does. But the problem is that millennials and baby boomers in particular expect that. And you may say, well, I don't like shopping that way, but it's cold and impersonal if we don't. So being able to say, it's important you can look at somebody in the eye, and then you're gonna do a mock session. What's a mock session, Bob? You've been watching my videos, which, by the way, if I didn't say it before, subscribe. I think I said that this is the second time. Subscribe, darn it. Just pause the video, subscribe. It's that red button. All right, so is to be able to go through and to say, yes, we're going to do a mock session. Role play is what we used to call it. But if I was to tell you, we're going to do a role play, oh, I can't role play. I hate role play. Yeah, we all hate role play because we're being judged. Not mock session. Let's just do a mock session. So I told you about the store tour, right? I told you about there's 4 main lands in our store. We're going to do a little mock session. I'm going to ask you to basically repeat the same thing that I had shown you, and then you're going to teach it to me, okay? Okay, great. So what do we say to start the store tour? Is this the first time you've been in our store? Yeah, that's exactly right. Good for you. And then I say no, and so what are you going to say? I don't know. Think about it. See, a great coach doesn't give the answer right away. I got to make that brain think. That's what. If you get nothing else out of this video, I have to get that brain to think. If it thinks, it's going to make a synapse and it's going to hold on to it. So they go, let me give you a store tour. That's close, but ask permission. May I give you a store tour? That way they can opt out and say nope, or they say yes. When they say yes, which is about 80% of the time, you can relax because they pretty much raised their hand and said, I like you. That's the first thing you want to do. So let's try that again. Ask me again. Is this the first time you've been in our store? Yes. May I give you a store tour? Sure. And that might be all I'm going to do that day. I'm not going to have to do all the lands, but I built their confidence. That's what managers have to do instead of compliance. You didn't do this. Did you greet that guy? Did you go check because I've got another video down below you should check out about that, because if you're not using the cake formula, which I talked about earlier, then that's probably why managers are burning out and not converting. But if you want to convert more lookers to buyers, you're going to go back through what I shared with you. What's one of them? Just think about that. Oh, I've got to ask after every sale, what could you have done better? Is that both the good and the bad, Bob? Yeah, it's both the good and the bad. There's always room. What else? I'm not going to always give the answer. I'm going to make them think about it so that the synapses fire, right? Oh, and when I'm going through and I'm teaching, I have to understand that practice is what makes the difference. That if they don't practice it, we don't do a mock session, it'll never get those synapses and they'll never fire. It's the same thing for you as a manager and owner. You know, if you don't know what the process is and you're trying to hold people accountable for something that you thought of was great and you didn't actually do it and go like, this doesn't make any sense. then shame on you. Because all of that rolls up in the idea that what does a great customer experience look like? You know, later on I'll talk about how you interview people. That's on another video you can check out. But when you think about the A and the C and the F answer, what's the F answer in a retail store? I walk in, no one talks to me, I feel nothing, I walk out, I go, what a waste of time. What's the C answer? I walked in, no one talked to me, I walked up to the register and said, can you help me find something? And they said, sure. What's an A answer? I walked in and somebody said, wow, I really like that shirt you've got on. Did you get that from us or was that from somebody else? I'm like, that guy noticed my shirt. I like this place. Which do you think the A answer is in your store? How many F's, how many C's are going on? Connect that to the number of sales walking out your door empty-handed to a competitor, and you've got some real opportunity. Because you know what the answer is? If you just increased your average sale 10%, 10%, that's not much. If you increased your average number of visits by just 10% of your visitors to just come in one extra time a year, and you increased your conversion rate just 10%, you would increase sales 30%. The only way that's going to happen is if you go through and make sure that coaching, not compliance officer, is in charge. Let's go back through again. I know repetition bears repeating. I want you to hit those buttons. If you were in SalesRx, you would do this right now, but let's go back. I have to go through and I have to be clear. What could have done better? I have to make sure and not think for them and pause and make them reflect. And I've got to hold them accountable, by the way, to whatever I've taught. And I've got to understand that the more practice we do, the better we're going to do at this. So, did you learn something today? You darn well better have. Put it in comments below. I've got an offer for you down below too. If you've got $1 million or more in sales in one of your boutiques or stores, you can make a personal strategy call with me, and that's down below too as well. We could actually talk about what's right for you. SalesRx is right for everyone, I can tell you that, if you are making $1 million a year, because you're probably rewarding your employees and your managers, and they all want to make more money. I can help you with that. But if not, let's say you're just starting out, I got other videos you can check out as well. So make sure you check out those, and also the one that's related to this down below. But more importantly, just make sure that you understand that training is something we do, not something we did. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doctor. Now get out there and sell.